guys, so I saw Logan this Friday and I haven't had time to review it because I've actually been playing Legend of Zelda for Nintendo Switch. I want to beat this game before I review it, and I've been using a majority of my weekend to, play this game and beat it. But now I'm finally taking a break and reviewing Logan, so let's get started with this. And this is going to be no spoilers whatsoever, so don't worry, there's no spoilers in this review. I'm going to be doing my spoiler review in the next 2 days, so be prepared for that. So Logan is the final installment in the Hugh Jackman Wolverine franchise, and it is in the far distant future where Wolverine is old, he's finally aging, his healing factor isn't working as well as it used to, and without going into spoilers, he comes across this girl who has the same powers as him, X-23. And him and an aged Charles Xavier have to get this girl to North Dakota. There's a potential safe haven for mutants, and this movie is very depressing. Let me see if I can get these Blu-rays. So me and a couple buddies actually ended up watching all the X-Men movies before we saw Logan. We did a marathon this week, and we just wanted to see all the Hugh Jackman movies because this was his last movie. He has said multiple times that he is not doing Wolverine anymore, they're gonna have to recast him, and we just wanted to go back to the early 2000s to see how this character has changed over the years and Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine, because I've been there since the beginning. I saw X-Men in 2000 with my dad, and this has been a character that I have been watching for 17 years now. And that's crazy to think that Hugh Jackman has been Wolverine for the past 17 years, especially with the amount of reboots that we've been seeing throughout Marvel and DC and all superhero films. Hugh Jackman has been Wolverine for this amount of time, and this was his last movie, so we wanted to see all these movies. And what we saw was very emotional, and it was a very sad departure of the character. And as much as I hate to say it, Hugh Jackman is not coming back. Like, he left this franchise very well. Let's talk about Logan in this film. Logan doesn't care whatsoever. Logan is done. He is not an X-Men anymore. He is just a guy trying to get through, and he does not care about anybody whatsoever. He's dealing with Charles and this mental illness that Charles is dealing with, and it's just so sad to see where these characters are right now, and just, you wish that this wasn't reality. Let's talk about Laura, X-23 in this film. I was really scared because this was a child in this film, and you know how child actors and actresses usually go. And I was also scared that this was like, a character that was trying to reach out to, younger audience members. No, she is the reason why this movie is rated R. A majority of the violence comes from her, and it's crazy. Speaking of violence, there is a lot in this film. There's a lot of gore. Majority of it comes from X-23 and Wolverine. And the first scene, without going into any spoilers, like, Wolverine's about to fight these guys, and you're like, oh yeah, Wolverine, let's go, let's fight these guys. Okay. That's the tone they're going for. Okay. And like I said, Charles Xavier has been dealing with age and this mental disease, and it was really interesting to see, like, what if you took one of the greatest minds in the world, and what if you gave that mind one of the deadliest mental diseases ever? Like, that was a really interesting concept, and I didn't think that was going to be in this film, but it was. It's really sad to see where these characters are at, and it's such a huge departure from the other X-Men films. Like, we watched these films this week, and it was a huge tone change. Like, I often wondered, like, should we have even watched these X-Men films? But I'm glad that we did, because it was a significant difference. There's no Marvel cliches or anything like that. It is like its own film. Like, this is a film. In the film, you see that there are X-Men comics. Like, Logan finds these X-Men comics, and he goes off to saying, like, this is a comic book. This is the real world. People die in the real world. And that's one of the themes of this movie, is that this is the real world. This is not a comic book movie. This is serious, this is depressing, and there is not a happy moment in this film. When you think that a happy moment is happening, it's not. It's fake. Something's about to happen. There were a couple laughs in the audience, like when something like, Logan was getting angry, like people were laughing. But if you actually think about it, and the seriousness in the background of the situation, it's not funny. It's not something you should laugh about. I was actually really, like, surprised that people were laughing. I was like, guys, this is, like, serious. Like, he's mad. He's upset. Don't laugh at this. People are sick. And again, going back to the serious tone of the movie, like, X-23's background, without going into spoilers, like, this is, like, pretty serious for a child character. Like, I'm surprised they went down that route. This is something I was not expecting whatsoever. I mean, I knew it was going to be serious because she went through the same procedure as Wolverine. She probably is going through a lot of crap, but I'd say that this is, like, really dark, actually. This overall this film is really dark. It's so dark and depressing that I refuse to think that it's canon. And not refusing to think it's canon like it's bad, like X-Men Origins Wolverine. No, I refuse to think it's canon because it's incredibly sad. I like to think of it as an alternate future. Like, I can watch it and just think like, oh, you know, Logan's at the end of Days of Future Past where he's hanging out with the X-Men. I like to think of it like that. It's just so sad and depressing that, you know, the concept of it being canon, you know, I refuse to think it because I don't want to see it end like this, but the way that it ended was very good. It's a throwback to the X-Men franchise, and I think it ended very well. I did think it ended, like, you know, briefly, but the way that they portrayed it was very, very creative, and I'm gonna miss Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I wish him the best of luck throughout his career because he's not going to be Wolverine anymore, and I'm very curious to see where they bring this character in the future, if they're going to reboot him or not, but I definitely want to see Wolverine fight Deadpool. Let's get that happening. So yes, guys, that was my review of Logan, my spoiler-free review. I'll be doing a spoiler review in the next couple of days. Like this video, share it, and please subscribe to Pixel Talk for more movie reviews, movie news, gaming content, and so on. Thank you guys so much. I'm Corbin Stuckey, and this is Pixel Talk.